Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
Anthony Albanese has given his local Sydney council $2.6 million for a do-over of housing plans it had already rejected, but neighbouring councils are not happy. While the Inner West Council, which includes the Prime Minister's Marrickville electorate, got a big handout, nearby Burwood Council got nothing. Darcy Byrne, the Inner West's Labour mayor and a former staffer for Mr. Albanese, said the $2.6 million was just a small investment that will enable us to complete our local planning controls by the end of the year. It will be used as part of a $4.72 million project of master plans for 5 housing investigation areas in Marrickville, Dulwich Hill, Ashfield, Croydon and Parramatta Road. The return on investment for putting additional staff on a council, specifically to get increased housing supply, will be good. We can do it faster and more effectively at the local level, Mr. Byrne told the Sydney Morning Herald. But Burwood's Mayor John Faker, who is also from the Labour Party, said his council sought funding for $1.4 million of projects but got nothing. I'm surprised, disappointed, and find this massive oversight by the federal government grossly unfair, particularly for communities like ours that are doing the heavy lifting, he said. Mr. Faker said the lack of funding would mean programs which had the potential to deliver more than 8,000 homes will probably need to be slowed down. Mr. Albanese said the housing crisis that has led to massive rent increases and an ever-diminishing chance for people on average incomes to get on the housing ladder needs to be tackled with better planning and higher densities in major cities. He said the issue had been neglected for too long and that there needs to be more housing around railway stations and transport corridors. The Prime Minister also said the government wants to help developers to build rental homes, particularly for affordable housing. We need to take every opportunity to increase housing supply. But his plan to build 1.2 million homes could spark an insolvency crisis in coming years, an expert told Daily Mail Australia. Australia has a housing crisis as building approvals lag well behind immigration-fueled population growth. Local councils and state governments approved just 163,759 new homes in the year to May, new Australian Bureau of Statistics data showed. But this was well short of Labour's target of 240,000 a year over 5 years, starting on July 1, as part of the Prime Minister's goal of building 1.2 million homes. Matthew Caddy, a Melbourne-based partner at McGrath Nicol with more than 25 years' experience of handling corporate insolvencies, said artificially boosting apartment building was more likely to spark an insolvency crisis in coming years. If the government's focused on any particular area, at any particular time, that can lead to a spike, but we also see, off the back of those spikes, usually they're not well managed on the other side, he said. You bring forward demand and you're creating an artificial demand at times on the other side of that. It's not uncommon that you then see an abnormal amount of insolvencies. The low level of building approvals has also occurred as 487,820 migrants moved to Australia in the year to April, leaving a shortfall of 78,422 homes, a figure based on households having 2.5 people on average. Despite the housing shortage, apartment developers in particular are struggling, with construction companies now making up more than a quarter of Australia's failed companies. Many project feasibilities aren't profitable, which has led to a slowdown in construction activity, Mr. Caddy said. More of the construction insolvencies relate to higher density construction projects rather than land and building developments. In those projects, there's very skinny margins, and when there's reduced demand, then everyone's competing for what is available and that drives margins down further.